Yesterday, I posted a video on neuro-linguistic programming. If you look around your world, we're all programmed to believe what we believe in. It's not necessarily the truth, it's the programming that's done in our corporate world, in our religions, in our news, all forms of media. I mentioned Alex Jones mostly because he's gaining an awful lot of power. He's giving out an awful lot of information, and I see him getting extremely frustrated because he keeps saying, "You're all sheep," and yet he can't see how he's using this very programming. I am going to believe that it's unintentional, but he's actually creating sheep and he doesn't know it, and he's frustrating his own self. He's saying one thing and then doing another. He's also putting out a lot of suggestions. Suggestions are the idea that you plant in somebody's head, and the way our brains work is as soon as we want to accept information, as soon as we want to accept an idea, then that change every aspect of what we believe to be true. So, um, while we've been enjoying our stuff, life has been good. So we don't see all of the corruption that's been going on in our world. But as this starts hitting in your own backyard, you start going, something is wrong here. And then you hit channels or people that have been trying to tell you the news, and if they don't understand the full picture, if they're caught up in the problem, you can't see that they've been actually transformed into everything they hate. What they hate, they then turn into because somebody is programming them and they don't realize it, and then they pass on that programming to you. So while I mentioned Alex Jones, I don't mean to wish him any harm or say anything negative. We all are doing this. Every time you put a suggestion out there, it has an effect on the human mind, and we are like flocks of birds. Somebody will be the leader, and we'll follow that leader wherever they go. So I only mentioned it and showed that video so you can see how powerful this shit is. This is a global phenomenon. This stuff is so powerful. I've posted over, I think, 230 videos. This was the first video that I had a warning from YouTube that says this information is blocked in some countries. So some countries don't even want you to be aware of this form of programming. Pretty powerful stuff. I mean, how is programming blocked in some countries? Why would that be an issue? Because it's that friggin' powerful. We can manipulate people to go into war and think they're actually protecting their country when they're actually just fighting a war for a big company to earn billions of dollars. This has been going on for years and years. If you look at even any of Tony Robbins' seminars, and he says you've got to have a mentor, mirror somebody that's successful, kind of look at which guys have been successful that he's saying we should imitate. One guy in particular that I did research for, he was heavily involved in a war years and years ago. I forget which one, but it's open in history books that they took over after the war was over. They took over that country's economic system, and the guy became like a trillionaire off of causing hardship and killing innocent women and children and men. Let's include men are innocent just as well as children are. You're killing people just so you can earn a huge buck. So, I mean, is Tony Robbins really bad? He's doing the best he can, but he's also using this programming to get you to manipulate other people so you can get rich exactly the way this other guy got rich. And in the meantime, we're destroying each other. We're destroying our environments because we're programmed to do the wrong thing. And you do have free will, but you have to be aware of it. And if you're being programmed to not even pay attention to what choices you have, if you don't know how to listen to self, then trust you're doing something somebody else wants you to do. It's in our Bibles. It's everywhere. Who writes Bibles out? Don't kid yourself. There's a corporation that's printing these books that we call Bibles, and if you think they don't have the power to change one word, if one word can manipulate the whole Bible, and most of the Bible could be true, but if one word is in there that just sort of guides you down, then evil has sort of infiltrated our Bibles and we don't even know it. But look at who's printing these Bibles. Is it a corporation? And is a corporation in it for money? So, evil has infiltrated humanity in the most ingenious way, but all of these tools can be used to flip everything around. I've kind of got really sidetracked from a lot of things that I wanted to do as soon as this Gulf oil hit. Just like every other tragedy, it's like starting to be old news. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. I'm seeing nobody do anything about it. I don't see BP doing anything. I don't see any level of any government actually doing anything. I don't see any people that actually have good ideas. Actually, a couple of guys that were saying, hey, at least these guys went out there and they're starting to do something. I mean, these two guys, I got to give them so much credit because they actually had an idea and they didn't take no for an answer, and they went out there and just are starting to do it. I've seen a few videos on it, and that's kind of the lesson you got to do, is save yourself. I've had my life completely destroyed. I don't see anybody having telethons for me or anybody else that suffered from the exact same problems as me. And this has been going on and affecting millions of people for hundreds of years. I am not the first one that got affected by what happened to me, but nobody listened, so in order for me to pull myself out, I had to save myself. You can't rely on other people. You cannot rely on your families. You cannot rely on your community. You can't rely on your police. You can't rely on politicians or the scientists or BP or the corporate world. The only person that can help you is you've got to help yourself. Be that leader of that bird and get other people to follow you. That's the only way you're going to make a difference. All I can do from up here is make the suggestion and post some videos. But in the meantime, I think it's somewhat time for me to move on. I've attracted what I wanted to attract. I've been using YouTube to sort of improve my communication skills because I knew that was what was blocking me from living my purpose. And somebody has crossed my path and wanted to write a book on all of this information I have, so I'm going to be spending a great deal of time working on that. We're also going to be putting some seminars together. I'm thinking of a 2-for-1, so anybody who can afford these seminars can actually pay for somebody that's living in poverty so they can get this information free. Everybody kind of has to know this information. I'm not doing it for profit. It's humanity needs some more information, and it's got to be out there, and it can't be only provided to those that can afford it. So hopefully once things get started, I'm going to be filming a lot of these seminars that I put on, and I'm going to be posting them on YouTube so everybody can kind of see what I'm talking about. There's little hints throughout my channel that I've posted over the last month that kind of tells you how reality is being controlled and created. Biggest message today is every problem is nothing more than a solution waiting to be unfolded. Do not wait for somebody else to do something. If you feel that you are experiencing a problem, that means the solution comes within you. Listen to yourself of what you need to do. The answers are always right there in front of you. You just have to open your mind to see it. Peace and love and blessings to everybody.